Hello, I'm Councillor Adele Brown, Cabinet Member for Planning and Infrastructure. I'm here at the Chapelgate site, one of our new developments. We all know someone, a son, a daughter, a friend, who dreams of home ownership but feels unlocked out of the market. No matter how hard they save, the goalposts keep on moving. It's frustrating, it's unfair, and it needs to change. That's why we're making home ownership more achievable with real options to help people buy their first home. Here are some of the schemes currently available. First Home Scheme, with between 30 to 50% of market price for our first-time buyers. Shared ownership, buy 25 to 75% of the share of a home and pay a subsidised rent on the rest. Rent to buy, renting at a reduced rate while saving for a deposit. Mortgage Guarantee Scheme, secure a mortgage with just 5% deposit. Alongside these schemes, our Basildon First Charter ensures local homes for local people, providing a priority for Basildon residents, key workers and those in need. All new developments will be marketed exclusively to local people for up to 12 months before being offered outside the borough. This isn't just about houses, it's about keeping families together, supporting key workers and giving hard-working people a fair shot at home ownership. Because a home isn't just a place, it's the foundation of everything.
Hello, it's the King of the Bins, Aidan McGurran, Basildon Council's Cabinet Member for Environment and Leisure. We have noticed a lot of residents engaging with our recent social media about the upcoming waste changes. Along with distribution of your new bags, you should have received a leaflet explaining the new service, which can also be found on our website. Please check these out as they will tell you everything you need to know. In the upcoming weeks, we have 6 roadshows taking place across the borough, where the team will be on hand to answer all your questions and advise on the new service and any general waste related queries. These will take place between 9 AM and 1 PM across the borough. So make a note of your nearest roadshow and pop along to see the team if you can. In the meantime, if you wish to learn more, head to the website where there is a list of frequently asked questions that might be able to help you. We've listened and now we're delivering for you. Let's continue to bring pride back to our borough. For more details, head to the council website. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Basildon. I hope you are all well. This is Councillor Gavin Callaghan, the leader of Basildon Council, and welcome along to this evening's Facebook Live session. Lots to get through. I know we've not done this for a couple of weeks. We've had full council, we've had cabinet meetings, so we've not had a chance to come on and answer some questions and to give you an update as to what is happening on the council. But thank you very much for those of you who are joining me live, or for those of you who are watching on the kind of catch up. If you do have questions throughout the course of this, please do put those questions into the chat box underneath, and we will try to answer them as we go. And if I can't get you the answers now, then I'll try my best to come back to you over the weekend as well. I want to talk about a range of different things that's happening across the council this week, so that you are aware of everything that is going on. And I want to begin by talking about some of the enforcement action that we have been taking. I promised you at the start of 2025 that one of the areas that I was going to ask the council to focus more time, energy, and effort on was around enforcement. So when people are not playing by the rules, when they are fly tipping their rubbish, when they are not recycling, when the front of their properties are unkept and untidy, when there's antisocial behaviour, when businesses are not looking after their shop fronts or their buildings, on a whole range of issues around enforcement. I want to increase the amount of activity in that area, and so I'm really pleased that over the course of the last few weeks, as we started 2025, we've been in the courts and we've had some serious successes on this. So we've had one individual who was caught fly tipping. He has been convicted and sentenced to a community order where he's been given 40 hours of community service that is having to be delivered in our borough. We've also had we've had over £1,000 fine delivered to an individual for fly tipping. We've had an eviction as well for a resident who was engaged in antisocial behaviour in our properties as well. We're getting people into the courts every single week now as we go. So it takes a lot of effort because you need the legal teams all signed up to get the court papers in order, get a date for your appearance in court, and then get your case heard by the magistrates and the judges. But thankfully, this is now happening, and we are starting to see more of it. As we move towards the new bin system, which I'll talk about a little bit later on, again, we are giving people the tools now to be able to dispose of their rubbish on a weekly basis in the right way. If people are not doing that, then we will be going after people in terms of enforcement, particularly around fly tipping and dumping. I did my Meet the Leader event last week in Wickford, and I was telling the residents there that just in the 3 Wickford wards alone, since the new bin system was introduced by the Tories back in November 2023, we have seen a 56% increase in the amount of missed collections and a 76% increase in the number of people reporting fly tipping. Now, the majority of that, 80% of that fly tipping, tends to be black bags household wastes. You're also seeing lots of the bins on the main highway that are, they're full up and overflowing. They're full up, pretty quickly. And again, what we're finding is that we've seen that go up as we've had the fortnightly black bin collections coming in as well. So once we go back to weeklies from the week beginning the 28th of April, we expect to see fly tipping coming down. We expect to see those bins on the highway coming down in terms of how quickly they're filling up as well. So we'll be looking much more in terms of enforcement and making sure that there are people who are not playing by the rules are being put through the courts in the appropriate way as well. Linked to all of this is around community safety. And last week we had the Cabinet and the full council meeting where we passed it's called the PSPO, the Public Space Protection Order. And what that means is it's an order around our town centres, so not just Basildon, but in Pitsea and in Wickford as well. And the order exists to ensure that things like the illegal use of motor vehicles, e-scooters, all of those things, bicycles more generally in our town centres, that they are not going to be allowed. But there's also issues around noise and busking and all that kind of stuff where it goes beyond what is deemed as being acceptable behaviour. All of that comes into the PSPO, and this has been extended until 2028. And so to enforce that, we've also announced a new public space protection team. And they are going to be out and about. You're going to see them. They're going to be in their new uniforms next week. You're going to see these guys out and about. They are enforcement officers. They are there to enforce the PSPO, the Public Space Protection Order, and they are there to enforce the peace and make sure that people are playing by the rules and they're not doing anything that they shouldn't be. So that's our commitment that we've made around community safety and making our town centres safer, getting that public space protection team out and about on the streets of Basildon and our town centres is critical to enforcing the PSPO. We are going to be announcing more things on this. This all links back to the Community Safety Summit that we held in February. And we've got more ideas for this around CCTV and some of the other things that we're going to be introducing in our town centres. But that is off and underway. That went through the council last week. You're going to see those guys and girls out on the streets from next week as well. So that is really exciting stuff as well. A couple of other things. People always talk to me about empty homes when they say that, on their street they're seeing homes that are sat empty. Why can't we bring them back into use? What can we do? I've mentioned to you before on these Facebook Lives, I introduced an empty homes officer back in the autumn, and we identified across our borough about 600 houses that are empty at the moment. Now, some of it is really complicated. People own those homes privately. They've inherited those homes when a family member has passed away. Often they don't live in the borough themselves, but they've inherited property through a loved one moving on and probate and all of that kind of stuff. And we've been engaging with those guys to say, look, would you be willing to let your property to rent it out? And for the council to have nomination rights on that, to get some of our people off of the waiting list into properties that they need, or people who are in temporary accommodation, perhaps going into those properties as well. It's a slow process. As I said, we have about 600 properties around the borough that are in state. Some landlords just say, look, no, I don't want to rent it out. It is a family home. It's been in the family for years. We want to keep it because we're going to pass it on to our children or our grandchildren in a few years' time, and therefore we're quite happy for it to be empty for this little while, and then it will move on to someone else in the family. But we have got people coming forward now saying, yeah, okay, let's work together and see what we can do. And we've managed to bring 117 of those 600 homes back into use in the first 3 months that we've been engaging on this. So that is a really, really good success rate. I'm hopeful that as we move through 2025 and into 2026, we'll be able to get more of those homes, the 500, 480 odd that are still empty long term, be able to get them back into use, as many of them as we possibly can for local residents to be able to go into those properties. But we're on that. So thank you to everybody who has been messaging to me, writing to me, letting me know about empty properties in your area. All of that intelligence is really helpful because we feed that into the empty homes officer, and then we're able to go out and about and try and locate those landlords and have those conversations as well. One of the other key things that I've mentioned on here before is the warm homes guarantee. So when the government made the changes to the winter fuel allowance back in the summer, we introduced the warm homes guarantee to try and do two things, really. Help people who should be claiming pension credit and would therefore be entitled to the full winter fuel allowance, but also to anybody who was just outside the pension credit threshold but were going to struggle paying their bills. We made a grant of £100 available over the winter for those pensioner households, and I'm really pleased that we helped around 200 pensioner households to enrol onto pension credit and to therefore get the full winter fuel allowance that they were entitled to. But we have also helped 229 pensioner households to access the Warm Homes Guarantee. So across that exercise that we've run throughout the last 6 months, we have managed to get to about 400 pensioner households. There's about 800 pensioners within those households, and they have received either the full winter fuel allowance or the grant money through the Warm Homes Guarantee. Now, we have engaged with thousands of elderly people across the borough in our sheltered housing schemes, in our road shows, on the telephone, and in other forum as well. Fora, I should say, as well. And it has been a really, really big exercise for the council. But what I hope has done is give everybody who really needs that help and support, give them the financial support that they need for this winter and paying some of those bills. That scheme ends on Monday, on the 31st of March. But it is something that I will look at for the 25-26 winter months as well. And I'm going to review that. I'm going to look at the budgets, and I'll hopefully have an announcement to make on that in the summer as well. So thank you to everybody who applied, and a huge thank you as always to the revenue and benefits team who have worked tirelessly, the resident engagement team who've been out across the borough to help those elderly people, those vulnerable people, filling in the forms, seeing what they're entitled to, and as I say, getting around 800 pensioners the financial support that they need this winter. So a brilliant effort from everybody there. One of our key priorities, as always, is backing Basildon businesses, and part of that is around making sure that we've got people coming through for job vacancies, filling those vacancies, making sure people have got the skills that they need. In the Basildon Centre, we have the Pathways programme. So as you come into the Basildon Centre, on the right, we have our team that work in Pathways. I went along today with a cabinet member for job skills and local economy, Jess Power, to speak to the guys and girls who run Pathways and to understand a bit more about the different schemes that they have going on there. And one of the things that we've got coming up next week is a security and facilities job fair. So if you are looking to start a career in security or in facilities management, this is your opportunity to meet employers across both of those sectors. So if you've thought about becoming a doorman, or you thought about becoming a security guard, or you think you might want to work in facilities management, out on the tools, working in for the likes of Morgan Sindall or a Mighty or a Pinnacle, or some of those other guys and girls that work in facilities management, then come along next week, Thursday the 3rd of April, between midday and 2 p.m. at the Basildon Centre, and you can sign up there for free training to gain your SIA license, so the yellow badge that doormen wear. So if you want your license, if you want to do that training, if you think that might open up a job opportunity for you, then do come along next Thursday and see about getting or talking to some security and FM firms about potential jobs for you there. On the local plan, we have a drop-in event happening as well. So as you know, we are consulting all the time on our local plan. Where are houses going to go? Where's the infrastructure going to be? How are we going to get all of this delivered? And so if you are a first-time buyer, if you are somebody who has got a growing family, if you are wanting to be close to your family and friends in the community, you're planning your future, then you have an opportunity to come and speak to the planning officers at the council to understand more about how the local plan works. Look, it's complicated, right? I've been a councillor on and off for 15 years, and even I sometimes sit there and think, bloody hell, what are they going on about now, right? So I get it's tough, it's difficult. Come and speak to those officers at Basildon Council. Get an understanding of how this local plan is good for you, good for your family, good for your future. And we've got sessions running, 2 of them next week. On Thursday as well, they're going to be at the Towngate Theatre next week. So the first session is going to be between 3:30 and 5 p.m. in the afternoon. And then the second session is going to be 5:30 to 7 p.m. After work as well. So come along. Come and talk to the planning officers, come and see what is happening in terms of the local plan and where those homes are going to be built, because that is going to be critical for you. We've got the Small Business Network. So if you're a small business, if you want mentoring, you want support, you want to build your network, grow your business base, looking at some development opportunities for your business, then on the second Monday of every month at 8 o'clock in the morning at Metro Bank in Basildon Town Centre, come along to the Small Business Network and come and speak to like-minded business owners as well. I have completed a couple of Meet the Leader events in March. Thank you to everybody who came along to the sessions in Vange and in Wickford. Always good fun to answer people's questions. Even when you sit where I sit in those sessions, it's funny to watch. Some people start off very, very angry. And they kind of move to kind of, maybe this isn't quite what I thought it was. And then by the end of it, people seemingly, understanding a bit more. They might not always agree, but understanding a bit more. And I've always said to people, right, you are never all going to agree with every decision I make as leader of the council, right? I understand that. But I will always tell you why I'm making those decisions and what the competing pressures are that has led me to make those decisions, or my cabinet members, or the council more generally, in terms of the decisions that we're making. These Meet the Leader events are a really good opportunity. No holds barred. I have no idea what the questions are going to be when I turn up in that room. People firing things off at me for around 2.5 hours. And hopefully they are worthwhile for people, and people are getting something out of them as well. We've got one coming up in Pitsea, and we're going to have one in Laindon as well. We're going to confirm those dates. I was hoping to be able to do that today. We've not had a chance to confirm the venues yet, but as soon as that is confirmed, we're looking to do that in April. I know we've got holidays and people might be away over the Easter period, so we'll bear that in mind as well. It might run into the first week of May, and then we'll have been in all 5 towns, and we'll look to go back round again and speak to people as well. We're also going to be launching the 5 in 25 road shows. So we have 5 priorities. I'll talk more about them at the end. But we are going to be going into all of the different wards around the borough to be talking to you about what those 5 priorities are, and listening to your views about what you want the council to be doing. So if you've got issues in relation to crime, if you want to speak to the police, if you want to speak to housing officers, if you want to speak to Morgan Sindall, then in these road shows, we're going to be out and about. And that's going to be an opportunity for people to come and engage with us and talk to us. So they're going to be well publicised. You're going to see more about this as we move into May, which is the start of the new council year. That we call it a municipal year. So from the 1st of May, we start the new year again. And we'll be going back out and into the 5 towns of the borough to talk about these 5 in 2025 pledges that we have. So keep your eye on the council social media pages. I'll update you here as well as we go. But hopefully people will get along to those sessions, and you'll find out a little bit more about what is going on here in our borough. Next, one of the big things that we were debating last week and talking about was the Basildon First Charter. So if you go all the way back to the AGM, the first meeting of the council in May last year, May the 23rd last year, I stood up in my first speech as leader of the council, and I said to you that in everything we do, it will be Basildon first. And central to that is when we build homes for people, they have to be for Basildon people first. And I introduced, the last time I was leader, something called the Basildon First Charter. And in that charter, we said that for the first 3 months that any new development is marketed, they could only be marketed. Developers could only market those homes to people who live in Basildon, who for whom this borough is their home. And there's criteria around what is what constitutes your link to Basildon. And there's also things in there about if you are a key worker, if you're a nurse, if you're a teacher, a firefighter, a police officer, an essential worker, if you but you do it in Basildon and this is your place of work as well, then that counts as your link as well into Basildon. And we said for 3 months, all of those schemes, whether it's for rent or for sale, they could only be marketed to people who live in Basildon. Now, as you can imagine, because demand for housing is so high at the moment, that when a developer gets to kind of go out on sale with their properties, most of these guys, whether it's Redrow or Barra or Bellway or whoever it is, they have an initial weekend, a Saturday and Sunday, where they open up their showrooms, and then virtually every single one of the plots gets bought up off plan there and then. People put down their deposit and they say, yep, I'm going to move into that house. There's my deposit. I'm taking plot number 219 or whatever. So most of the time, it's happening anyway that these new developments are going only to people from Basildon. I'm going to go further. So we've extended the obligation on developers so that it's not just the first 3 months, it's the first 12 months. So the reason we've done that is so that we capture phase 1 and phase 2. So they go out and they say, right, phase 1 comes on the market. We're going to build 70 homes, and these are all going to be marketed for the first 3 months to Basildon residents. They get built. 9 months later, they come along and say, right, we're going to market phase 2 now, and we're going to do another 30, 40 homes in phase 2. They all need to go to Basildon residents only as well. So that they will have to be enforced. This will be enforced by what's called Section 106 agreements. They will also have to tell us every year, in order to continue to get money through the 106 agreements and to discharge their conditions, they will have to report how many of our local people are getting access to this as well. Now, developers might not like this. In fact, developers will probably hate this. I don't care. There are enough people in our borough who are desperate for housing right now, and we need to protect those people and give those people every opportunity to get first dibs. That is what the Basildon First Charter does. And aligned to all of that, it also says that if you want to build homes in Basildon, they need to be for people in Basildon, and they need to be built by businesses from Basildon. So again, if you think about what it takes to build a home, yeah, you need your brickies, your chippies, your sparkies, but you also need your landscape gardeners, you need your tilers, you need the people who are fitting the windows, you need people to lay the carpets, all that kind of stuff. There are plenty of businesses in Basildon who would be able to help and support those developers to do that. So as part of the Basildon First Charter, they also have to make sure that our local businesses are in their supply chains as well, creating apprenticeships, creating jobs, and also using our guys in the supply chain as well. So this is a really, really strong charter. It covers housing, it covers the local supply chain, it covers labour, it covers a whole manner of things. And it is enforceable as well. So last week, I was really proud that we took that to the council. Look, it's not a finished document. We will continue to update it. We will continue to strengthen it, continue to make it more powerful, more enforceable for our residents as well. We'll continue to engage with our developers about this as well, to make sure that they're signing up to the charter. When it goes to the planning committee as well, the planning committee members, they are going to be told whether or not the developer has signed the charter. If they haven't signed the charter and they are not committing to marketing to Basildon residents first for 12 months or using Basildon businesses in their supply chain, the planning committee members may very well be minded not to support the application. So, developers need to think very carefully about whether or not they are going to be on side with Basildon as well. So last week was good. Labour and the Independents voted for the charter. The Conservative Party did not support the charter last week, which is disappointing. But that tells you everything you need to know about the shower that is the Basildon Conservative Party. Elsewhere, we've got other things that are going on that you can take part in. We've got the Morgan Sindel drop-in sessions that are happening on Thursdays as well. I saw the guys there today at the Baz Centre, so come along. We're trying to get evening sessions lined up because I know people are at work and also working at weekends as well. So as soon as we've got those dates, we will share them with you. We're doing a whole piece at the moment about affordable housing and educating people about what is affordable housing. And that ranges from first-time buyers, where we can give anywhere between a 30 to 50% discount on the market value of those properties, so that people can get discounts to enable them to get on the ladder and not need such a hefty deposit first time as well. The next one is shared ownership. So people can buy between 25 and 75% of their property and then pay a subsidised rent on the rest. I know there's issues with shared ownership, but nonetheless, that is an option. We have rent to buy, so people can rent at a reduced rate while saving the deposit to then transition into home ownership. And then we have mortgage guarantee schemes as well, where you can secure a mortgage with just a 5% deposit, and that is going to be available until June. And then we're going to have a new scheme that we're going to roll out after June as well, that the Labour government is supporting us with. Another really, really good thing as well, I should have mentioned around our housing, but also around energy bills, is that the Labour government has just awarded Basildon £10 million for our council housing stock to go back and to go through those stocks to make those homes more energy efficient, to improve the energy efficiency of our stock, so that we're going to reduce the energy bills in our council housing as well. So again, I know obviously with the spring statement, there's lots of people who've got lots of opinions and issues around what is being said at the moment from the Labour government, but we are seeing more investment in our schools. We're seeing more investment in the NHS. As a council, in the last 6 months, we've had around about £30 million out of the government to help build new council housing and insulate our homes, as well as we've had hundreds of thousands of pounds in additional support to help with temporary accommodation and homelessness as well. You're not going to read that in the Daily Mail, and you're not going to see that on GB News. I'm totally aware of it, but you will hear it here. on this Facebook Live, because it is a good thing. One of the other things, which is a good thing, is the Easter egg drive that we have launched. So you'll remember we did a Christmas gift drive, phenomenally successful. We had 5,500 presents donated for children in temporary accommodation and for children in deprived communities in our borough at Christmas. This time we are collecting Easter eggs for our elderly. So for our older people who are socially isolated or in sheltered housing, all across our borough. We're also collecting eggs for those children who are still in temporary accommodation in hotels and bed and breakfasts as well. If you would like to donate, if you can find it within yourself to be able to pop an extra egg in your basket when you're out and about shopping, we are going to make sure that all of those children and older people get a little bit of spring cheer from Basildon this year. We've got a great community spirit in our borough. We want to harness that, and we want to support those residents and those young people who are perhaps not as fortunate as some of us when it comes to Easter eggs this year. So if you've got donations, please drop them off at the Bas Centre. You can bring them to the Bas Centre reception, or you can get in touch with your local councillors, and local councillors can collect them as well, and we can bring them along and make sure that they are distributed as well. So we've already had loads coming in. So some of our businesses have been supportive. They've been donating eggs. If you're a business listening to this, or if you're a resident who wants to donate, please get involved. I'm tempted to say hop to it. Watch this space for a video, and that will all make far more sense. We also made a commitment as part of our community safety to support more victims of domestic abuse, to try and eradicate domestic abuse, to try and support victims of modern slavery as well in our borough. And we've launched the J9 Safe Spaces programme as well. So this is where people can get immediate and confidential support if you are individuals experiencing domestic abuse. So if you are struggling, if this is something that you need to talk to somebody about, if this is something that you need to make someone aware of, you can come into the Basildon Centre, you can go to the Pathways desk on the right of the Basildon Centre, and you can talk about, or you can raise the issue about J9, and then you'll have the opportunity to speak to somebody in a safe place, confidential place, and we'll be able to get you the support that you need. So if you know anybody in that position, please spread that word out to people as well. 2025 and 25, our new health initiative and campaign, that kicks off today. So there are residents across our borough who are taking part in a 12-week personalised support programme to help them get back in shape. So a very good luck to all of those people who are involved in that. I wish you well. I have been trying to get fit over the last year or so. I understand it is important. I play football very badly on a Saturday morning and a Tuesday evening. But for those people who are involved in the 12-week program for 25 and 2025, best of luck with that. I look forward to sharing your updates as well on our social media pages as you go. Right, next on waste. As you will know, we are delivering on our promise, the biggest promise we made, to fix Basildon's bins. So from the week commencing the 28th of April, every single black bin in this borough will be collected every single week. That was the commitment we made, and that is what we are delivering. We are also delivering on the promise to scrap the sacks. So the blue and white sacks, they are going. You can take them to Barleylands and you can recycle them, or you can keep them if you are so minded. But you are going to be getting disposable blue and white recyclable, blue and white disposable bags that will be coming out to your houses if you haven't had them already. You'll get 2 rolls of blue, 2 rolls of white. If you need any more, they will be available at the Bas Centre, in our libraries, and in some of those other places where you used to be able to get pink sacks as well. We'll also be distributing more throughout the course of the year. You can put as many blue and white bags out as you want. In fact, I encourage you to go mad. Put as many out as you possibly can. Keep the recycling rates high, and we will be able to collect those bags much quicker without the the food and everything else, not the food, there shouldn't be any food in there, but the other rubbish being tipped out and flying out onto the roads, onto the green spaces, and causing a massive mess. All of that goes. You can put those blue and white bags out alongside your black wheelie bin, alongside your food caddy, and they will be collected every single week. And your glass will continue to be collected on a fortnightly basis as well. So do not use the blue and white disposable bags before the 28th of April, but from the 28th of April, knock yourselves out. There's going to be some road shows as well. So if you'd like to come and talk to any of our team about some of these upcoming changes, the cabinet member, the king of the bins, Aidan McGurran, was out and about on the streets of Billericay today, charming the public there, letting them all know what we are doing in regards to the waste changes. We are in Langdon on Wednesday at the Langdon Community Centre from 9 a.m. till 1 p.m. We're going to be at the Eastgate on the 9th of April. On Wednesday the 9th, we'll be at the Eastgate. We'll be in Pitsea Market the following week on the 16th of April, and then we'll be back in Basildon Town Centre on Wednesday the 23rd. So we're in Billericay and Wickford today, and then we're going to be around the rest of the borough leading up to the week commencing the 28th of April. So that is the big commitment that we made. But alongside that, you will remember that we didn't just stop there. This administration is delivering, and we have also brought back the crunch. So last year we had 6 weekends of the crunch, and in 2025 we're going to have 6 weekends of the crunch, and that is starting this Saturday. So from 9 a.m. until midday, you can come along to the Little Burstead Car Park in Billericay, the Craze Hill Recreation Ground in Wickford, the rear of the Ballards Walk Shops in Langdon, at Southview Road by the Vange Library over in Vange, covering Vange and the South Basildon part, so in my patch in St Martin's. We'll be at the George Hurd Centre as well in Basildon Town Centre, and we're going to be at the Chalverdon Hall Pub in Pitsea as well. So there are 6 locations around the borough. You can get to them. No household will be more than a mile away from any of those homes. If you are housebound, if you're disabled, if you're not able to get out to any of those crunch sites, then drop me an email on leader@basildon.gov.uk, and our teams can try and arrange a collection for you on Saturday morning as well. But that crunch is starting this week. We're going to have another 5 weekends, as I said, throughout 2025 as well, and we're going to be naming all of those sites because we move around the town. So we've been on the Wick in Wickford, we've been up in Wickford North, we're now going into Crouch and Castledon, but then we'll be going back round again to those areas, and similarly across all of those other wards and other parts of the borough as well. So please do come along and have your say. If you are a council tenant, then please make sure that you are engaging in the tenant satisfaction survey. We want to hear the good, the bad, the ugly. We want to hear from you. That consultation closes next on Monday, on the 31st of March. You've not got long to get your questions in. I'm just going to quickly pause there and have a look to see if we have any questions coming in as I go. Let's have a quick look. Right, there's loads of comments and questions, which is good. So Alison saying people don't use them, rather black bins only, so something can be done about this. Look, on that, we are trying everything we can to make sure that people are using their bins and the way that we're doing it responsibly. But we are going to be enforcing a lot more, as I was saying at the start of this. So we are definitely going to be looking at this in more detail, and our enforcement teams are going to be going out with the refuse collectors and the refuse guys to make sure that we are doing this the right way. Colin, I know exactly where you're coming from. This is in relation to Craylands. I'm very hopeful that I'm going to have an update for you and the rest of the guys in Craylands in the next couple of weeks. I've obviously got your email. You and I have been corresponding about that. I know that this is not a great situation for people who live on the Craylands estate. I've been talking to your local councillors about this. We've been talking about what the art of the possible might be on that final phase of the Craylands issue. So watch this space. I can't give too many details now, but I will be trying as best I can to get you some, I hope, positive answers on this in the next couple of days. Next couple of weeks as well. Sarah, yeah, you're right. Most of Basildon is black at night with the road and the street lights being off. That is why we are trying to get those street lights back on from the autumn of this year. And of course, once we get Bas exit and we get out of Basildon Council, Basildon Council is going, but once we get out of Essex County Council, then we will have the opportunity. We'll have the opportunity to be in full control over our streetlights and our potholes and our pavements. And the Labour government has just put a record amount of money into the roads and the pavements and the streetlights as well. And I would love for us to be in control of that budget locally, so that we can make sure that we are getting those things fixed quicker. But in the meantime, before that happens, I want the streetlights back on in Basildon, and that is something that I'm going to be pushing for as well. Fred, you're right. There are issues with the green bins. We do need to enforce there and make sure we're enforcing properly. I would have liked to have halved the green waste charge this year. I think people are aware. I inherited a £3.1 million overspend from the previous administration. So I've not been able to do it this year, but it is something that we will look at going forward. And if we can, we will do that. But in the meantime, if people have got green bins, then they do need to use them responsibly and to make sure that we are enforcing where people are not, and we're handing out fines so that we change those behaviours and we get people doing things in the right way as well. I'm just trying to see. It's very hard on this screen to see any questions. Just having a look here now. I think we've got one, haven't we, on disabled taxis? So this is something we've raised previously, and we've spoken about this to the licensing committee. So the chair of the licensing committee. I've also, from the 1st of May, I've looked at asking the area committees to look at this as well. And as soon as we we should be getting better service for our disabled residents now in terms of the taxis. If that is not happening, then please do let me know, because I need to know about that. If that isn't happening, all of our taxi drivers, particularly those who've got accessible taxis, they are licensed on an annual basis. So again, we can be raising this as an issue through the licensing committee if that is something that we need to do. So I will get back to you on that one. Again, I have done through the Facebook Lives previously. I have raised that, and if I still need to do that, then that is something that I will take forward. In terms of emails, I'd say a couple of things. One is I'm trying desperately to get back to people as quickly as possible. There is a 10 working day turnaround in terms of people getting responses to emails. I would like that to be quicker. It's not always possible. We've also had some staff changes in terms of being able to get answers quicker. So people are still finding their feet. And I know that there's been a bit of a delay in some areas of getting back to people. I know people send me messages on Facebook Messenger. I cannot answer casework on Facebook Messenger. You have to send me an email on leader@basildon.gov.uk and I will respond to that. If you are awaiting a response from me and it's been longer than 10 working days, drop me another email. I will chase up the responses as quickly as I possibly can. I don't think it's an exaggeration to say I get thousands of emails a week, hundreds of which are casework. And I'm trying to obviously get back to as many people as quickly as possible. But as councillors, we're not like MPs. We don't have huge huge teams with loads of staff. So we have to respond as quickly as we possibly can. I will try. If you have a particular issue, I will try to get back to you as quickly as possible. Kai has asked about: is it true Basildon Council is joining up with Thurrock Council and joining their debts? We are joining different councils together as part of local government reorganisation. Yes, that is true. Is it likely that Basildon and Thurrock will come together to create a brand new council? Yes, it is, in my opinion. It's very difficult to see how the how the boundaries would work in a different way. Thurrock is on a process at the moment. They have what's called commissioners in the council at the moment, and they are doing a lot to get rid of a huge amount of their debt. Part of that is around selling off land and some other buildings and assets that they have, and then we would, or they would not have as much debt to bring into the new council. The truth is that all councils have debt. Basildon Council has debt, right? We have 12,500 houses that we run through our HRA. That carries a debt with it. Also carries an asset value, but it also carries a debt on your balance sheet. We also, because the government from 2010 to 2014 turned off the taps and took £8 in £10 off of government, 80 pence in every pound off of councils. We had to commercialise. We had to do different things in order to bring new money into the council, and part of that was that we had to look at mortgaging over 30, 40, 50 years on investments that are generating money for the council, but that carries with it debt as well. So it's not just Thurrock. There are other councils, Basildon included, that is carrying debt into these new authorities. But I think the key here is that they are new. They are brand new councils. It's not Basildon and Thurrock merging together to just become one council. It is a brand new entity. And the conversations are underway with government about what is that going to look like? How could we perhaps offset some of that debt through things like business rate growth? We've obviously got the Freeport in Thurrock, which is huge in terms of business rate, around about £1 billion of business rate money coming in. And similarly, we've got things around council tax growth, because we've got to build a lot of houses as well. So there's ways that you can offset it. But all of those discussions are going on at the moment. And when we've got some answers, we'll come back to you. I wanted, because I'm conscious of time, I want to just finish with two things, really. The first thing I want to talk about is car parking, because, and I can see I've had some questions about it, underhand car parking. It's interesting, but let me just say really, really clearly that Basildon Council has made £200,000 available to Billericay and to Wickford, so £100,000 each available to them to spend on issues and things that are priorities in their area. So I'm aware of some of the comments that I get from some people. One particular lady in Wickford who was sending me a volley of abuse about how disgraceful I am and all the rest of it. And then we found a comment that she made from 6 months ago in which she actually was making the same point that we were making, which is that instead of having car parks in Wickford free all day on a Saturday and Sunday, we should have them free for just a couple of hours at a time, because most of the time, if West Ham are playing at home, those car parks are full up with commuters parking their cars there, jumping on the train to Stratford. They don't spend a penny on Wickford High Street, but they take up all the car parking spaces. And from 10 o'clock in the morning, you cannot get parked in Wickford car park. And that is a problem. So instead of having car parking that's free all day, looking at just having a couple of hours of free car parking as well. To do that, it costs about £15,000 to have free car parking. And I've said very clearly to the area committees, both in Billericay and in Wickford, you have £100,000. So if this is a priority, and if the public are saying this is a priority, then out of the £100,000 pot, you should use £15,000 of that and pay for the free car parking. And that's, to me, a perfectly legitimate way of doing it. If Basildon Council owned car parks in Basildon or in Pitsea or in Langdon, and there was an opportunity to pay for them to be free, then the area committees would fund that out of those budgets. But there isn't. We don't have the same luxury south of the 127 as we do in the north. So therefore, the area committees are being asked to look at it. The other side of it is that Billericay has a town council. That town council has £600,000 in the bank. Wickford has a town council that has £300,000 in the bank. So as you look across both Wickford, Billericay, the area committees on Basildon Council and the town councils, there is over £1 million of tax money that taxpayers have paid that is available for free car parking for a couple of hours in those car parks. The only question is, are the Billericay and Wickford councillors going to vote for that and make that happen? So with respect, I am the wrong person to be lobbying. I am the wrong person to be sending abuse to. You need to lobby your local councillors, and you need to ask your local councillors to vote for free car parking, both on the town council and on the Basildon Borough Council as well. There is not a pot of money to just be able to say, okay, well, don't worry about that. Forget the £200,000 in the pot. We're just going to give you another £170,000 and we'll make it free the whole time. We have a £3 million budget deficit that we have to fill, so therefore that isn't a possibility. Billericay councillors are asking me to put another 1.5% on the council tax in order to pay for it. I'm not going to do that either. There is already money available. People have already paid a precept. They've already paid more tax in Billericay and Wickford for their town councils. They now need to go and spend that money. Last year, Wickford spent over £100,000 just on staffing and office costs in their town council. £100,000. Right? 15 grand gets you the free car parking that Miss Voller wants for 2 hours. I think it's perfectly doable that can happen, and I look forward to the area committees. In fact, I think right now the Wickford Area Committee are meeting to discuss doing just that and paying for 2 hours free car parking in Wickford, and I hope that vote goes through. I hope that Billericay will do the same thing as well. So don't send me emails. Don't knock on my door about this. Go and email your local councillors and ask them to spend that taxpayers' money on those priorities. The only other thing I would say on this is, from the revenue that we create from car parking charges more generally, so for those West Ham commuters who don't spend any money on Wickford High Street but park there all day, if they're now going to have to pay for 2, 3, 4 hours of car parking because they're there for 5, 6, 7 hours or whatever, what I would say is that money will then be used to improve those car parks, right? So they are in a terrible state because there isn't any money to fix the machines and to pay for the lighting and to repaint the parking bays. Unless you've got a KA, you're going to bloody well struggle to park a car in either of those car parks anymore because they haven't been repainted and looked after for years. So having more money will enable us to do that. We will also use some of that money to hire traffic enforcement teams to go down places like Billericay High Street and Wickford High Street and start enforcing traffic notices on people that are parking illegally on those high streets as well. So we will improve our high streets as a result of it. So look, I know people don't like that. I know people think that there's a never-ending pit of money for us to just keep paying for some of that stuff. There isn't. There's a ring-fence pot. I've put it into the budget. Now the Billericay and Wickford councillors need to step up and to do it. That is all from me for this week. Only to just say, as a reminder, there are 5 key priorities for Basildon this year. We are fixing those bins, and you can see the progress we are making from the 28th of April. We're regenerating our towns. 4 out of our 5 town centres have got regeneration schemes either in planning or they are starting to be built out. Cranes in the sky in different parts of our borough as well at the moment. Building homes for local people, the Basildon First Charter that I've been describing tonight. Ring fencing, protecting Basildon residents for 12 months, protecting Basildon businesses in terms of the build out of those new homes. Making our community safer, the PSPO, the new public space protection team that is going to come into being next week, and back in Basildon businesses as well, getting them to the front of the supply chain, putting on jobs fairs like we are at Pathways next week to get more people into employment as well, giving them the skills that they need. So on all 5 things, we're making progress. We're working really hard. Whatever questions you have, whatever ideas you have, please make sure you put them in the comment section below, and I'll see you all again next week. Bye for now.
Hello, I'm Councillor Adele Brown, Cabinet Member for Planning and Infrastructure. I'm here at the Chapelgate site, one of our new developments. We all know someone, a son, a daughter, a friend, who dreams of home ownership but feels unlocked out of the market. No matter how hard they save, the goalposts keep on moving. It's frustrating, it's unfair, and it needs to change. That's why we're making home ownership more achievable with real options to help people buy their first home. Here are some of the schemes currently available. First Home Scheme, with between 30 to 50% of market price for our first-time buyers. Shared ownership. Buy 25 to 75% of the share of a home and pay a subsidised rent on the rest. Rent to buy. Renting at a reduced rate while saving for a deposit. Mortgage guarantee scheme. Secure a mortgage with just 5% deposit. Alongside these schemes, our Basildon First Charter ensures local homes for local people, providing a priority for Basildon residents, key workers and those in need. All new developments will be marketed exclusively to local people for up to 12 months before being offered outside the borough. This isn't just about houses, it's about keeping families together, supporting key workers and giving hard-working people a fair shot at home ownership. Because a home isn't just a place, it's the foundation of everything.